guys, this is Jeff Rains coming to you again with Foundation of Civilization. I wanted to cover something that is kind of going under the radar. I think it's going under the radar recently, and I think the problem is we've just become numb to some very important things that have been going on in our country over the past 50, 60 years. In particular, right now is the declassification of the John F. Kennedy assassination files. Um, on November 22nd, 1963, while President John F. Kennedy was being driven through Dallas, Texas, he was shot several times and killed immediately. It's very horrific, and there's just a few videos of the incident. Of course, a number of questions arose immediately. And who was involved? Did the shooter have insider information? What were his affiliations? We learned that he was a Russian sympathizer with a Russian wife, and almost immediately, a commission was formed to find out the details of the shooting. And the Warren Commission, the Warren Commission was established. And I'm going to read the opening statements here, why it was established. And the one of the opening paragraphs, it says the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963 was a cruel and shocking act of violence directed against a man, a family, a nation, and against all mankind. A young and vigorous leader whose years of public and private life stretched before him was the victim of the fourth presidential assassination in the history of the country dedicated to the concepts of reasoned argument and peaceful political change. This commission was created November 29th, 1963, in recognition of the right of the people everywhere to full and truthful knowledge concerning these events. This report endeavors to fulfill that right and appraise this tragedy by the light of reason and standard of fairness. It has been prepared with a deep awareness of the Commission's responsibility to present to the American people an objective report of the facts relating to the assassination. I find that, I find that kind of highly uh, amusing in light of recent events. The conclusions from that report. The shots which killed President Kennedy and wounded Governor Connally were fired from the sixth floor window of the southeast corner of the Texas School Book Depository. This determination is based upon the following. It goes through a list of a few things, starting with witnesses at the scene of the assassination saw a rifle being fired from the sixth floor window of the depository building, and some witnesses saw a rifle in the window immediately after the shots were fired. And then it goes on, and I wanted to highlight this finding. It says that there is no credible evidence that the shots were fired from the triple underpass ahead of the motorcade or from any other location. So, 1963, President Kennedy was killed, and for 60, what is that? Oh, about 65 years now. We've just kind of accepted that that was the official narrative. That was true. In fact, for quite a few times, or for quite a few years, it was taboo to even question anything else. Some people would kind of on the fringe would ask questions, but they wouldn't get very far. So let me try to put this in the best light positive or possible. The Warren Commission, let's say that they did the best job they could. They had all the best evidence available when they published the report. After the report came out, any question was squashed. And many, over the years, many questions have arisen. Why were there no Secret Service agents riding on the car to block any snipers from shooting the president? That was a common practice. They had the handholds and foot mounts just for this purpose. What Lee Harvey Oswald actually able to make the shots with the Carcano rifle? There's a lot of questions as to whether that was possible or not. And and please, there are probably thousands of rabbit holes that we could go down. But and I don't want to get drugged down to any one of them because then you end up getting mired into something and you never find a conclusion. It and it doesn't bother me that we don't get the answers to all of these questions, and we didn't get the answers to all these questions from the Warren report. Bothers me that even asking them was outright condemned. If you raised any serious questions, you were smeared as a conspiracy theorist. In fact, the term was made up by the CIA to dissuade people from digging into the JFK assassination. Well, now we come to today, and on February 11th of 2025, Representative Anna Paula Luna was put in charge of declassifying this information. She's supposed to go through and look at the documents and see what can be redacted and we'll see what can just be outright released. And only one thing stands out to me that uh, that really, really bothers me. And it tells me something about well, our government and our media. That one point, you remember, I brought up the conclusions. There were no credible evidence that shots were fired from anywhere else other than the book depository. The point is that they noted is that it is likely that there was more than one shooter. Now I haven't gone through to see when did they come to this conclusion, whether it was immediately afterwards or after the Warren report was published. But it bothers me that nobody in the government wanted to find out more. That means that our government covered up all of the information that suggested anyone else was involved. Or even worse, our media was completely uninterested. They actively worked with our government to cover up and to slight anyone who questioned the official narrative. So for 62 years now, I guess it is, our federal government and our media have just lied to us. They told us, no, there wasn't another shooter. And if you dig into the details of this, there had to be something else. There had to be a lot more people involved and a lot more powerful people involved. And I think that's the problem. Now, once you start digging into it, you find out just how corrupt these agencies are. You're going to find out that there's a lot that needs to be done, a lot that needs to be resolved, and people are not going to be happy about it. People aren't going to be they're going to realize that you can't trust your government. And in fact, this is one of the reasons why I keep asking these questions of what's going on behind the scenes. What are they hiding? What are they discussing? What are they putting together? And why I look for key information to determine what direction they're heading in the near future. We need to we need to be able to have transparency. We need to be able to challenge our government. And unfortunately, our government and our media are working harder and harder to cover things up. I hope that you guys are awake and aware and realize the problems that are ahead of us, and come to understand that these are things that we have to resolve, things that we have to fix. Right now, Europe and quite a bit of the United States, they're trying to pass laws to make it even harder to question things. Europe, I'm going to dig back into this again in the near future, but they were questioning and challenging Elon Musk and his ability to criticize the government. But I want to get some more details so I can speak accurately and correctly about it. Anyway, I hope that everything's going well for you guys. Much love, and uh, please, like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is Jeff Rains with Foundation of Civilization, and hope that you guys are prepared, and hope that you're all having a good day today. Thanks again. Jeff Rains signing out.